Hello, this is Yehna.
And this is Jessie.
We are excited to be back with another episode. We wrestled through many different questions, but today we wanted to invite you and ask the question of how to rest or how do you rest in a season where hurry, hurry is the mantra. So, welcome and join us
At
at
the
the
table.
table.
It's funny because summer was supposed to be true rest, and that's why teachers have summers. But of course, we try to fill it in. Well, we don't even try, it just gets filled. And
Uh,
then we like panic because it's the end of summer and the school year's starting, and we're slowly having to pick things up. And then it's like, oh, there's no more time to truly rest.
no, I know.
So that's how we're feeling right now.
I know. Can you tell both of our voices are like an octave lower than it normally
Yeah.
is?
Yeah.
Which is so crazy because at least for me, Yuna Kim, I had a pretty good chunk of quote unquote rest time. But of course, I did not sit still. So that was a
Yeah.
problem.
I think you had a solid like week of
Yes.
waking up late, going to the gym, cooking a nice brunch, like that kind of lifestyle. I feel like that was true rest for you, or it sounded like it was, but that only lasted a week and then you're right back to work.
Which I'm glad for structure. I think more than finding chunks of time of rest, what I need to learn to, how do I say this? Put in to my schedule, like intentionally sit down. On Monday, this time, Yana Kim, you need to do something you want to do. Or you are able to take a nap for 30 minutes, those things. Because if not, even in moments where I actually have a good chunk of time to rest, my brain is at a full speed of what do I do next? I'm not able to rest. And I run off of this stress adrenaline that I created for myself. And it didn't need to be there at all.
Yep.
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 So that has been, I feel as though this is such a trend. And because I'm realizing it is, I really want to find a way to completely obliterate that. But it's definitely been a process.
I know it's like we gotta erase the lie that productivity is rest, which productivity is rest is my mantra.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
So, yeah, I think we just have I have some stuff to work on. But yes, I
Uh,
feel you for sure.
yes. So, not to call you out, Jessie, but it's so true. Every time you say you had a restful day, she then proceeds to give me a full itinerary of her day. And then I sit there thinking, we have very different definitions of a
Yeah.
rest day.
Yeah, I literally scheduled my rest day. Like I write 9 o'clock, wake up, devotionals, 10 o'clock, chores, to-dos. Like that's my rest day. And it's kind of sad. But it's also okay. It's also as teachers, like when we have prep time, I'm not the kind of person that can just sit around and actually rest. Like, like when people say, like, oh, you have a lunch, take your lunch, go read a book, go outside, go for a walk. But majority of the teachers end up prepping because they don't have the time to do that. They can't afford to do that. But
No,
I feel like that's just the nature of teachers. I
so
don't know.
true.
It's very rare to see a teacher where she's like, you know what? I'm going to take my full 50 minutes of lunch and do nothing,
15 minutes? What's that like? I ate with my students.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Sorry.
crazy.
I'm having a
Hey,
little
that
bit of a
life is
crisis.
over.
At least for me, unlike Jesse, I don't have an itinerary, but for me, what I need to do is shut off my brain.
What does
Or
it look like to shut off your brain, though?
that's a very good question. I'm trying to figure that out. Because for me, it immediately goes into I lay down, hook up my phone, and then immediately the devil's in my brain saying, Yena Kim, who do you think you are? You're allowed to do this.
Mm,
Other people are, living a better life than you, and you think you can do this for yourself. And it just
really?
immediately becomes a whole internal battle of why the heck should I be okay with resting? Of course, my
Really?
body doesn't move, but my brain is like on full battle mode.
That's funny because you feel guilty when you rest. I don't necessarily feel guilty. I just feel like it's a waste of time if I rest. So that's so funny. We're both driven by different things.
Yes, I just feel so guilty. And more than anything, that emotional toll causes me to feel more tired than than
Interesting.
anything else. And so I don't see, I just need to, pray.
And to each their own of what really fills your cup. Like, I think
Yes.
the first 2 years post college, I really struggled with good work life balance because my definition of shutting my brain off was just binge watching TV and forgetting about my day. And that was not restful. Like, that made me more just unhappy with my life. But now I've replaced that with going on a walk or going on a run, and it's still the same amount of time spent doing those things, but it's just much more filling for me. Whereas, like, for example, if I have dinner with a friend and catch up, like that's filling for me, but maybe for you, that's not as much of a filling back of the cup, more of like depleting your cup. So everyone's just got to find their groove and have good boundaries, I guess.
Yeah. I realized it's usually the times where I feel rested, as in my soul feels filled, or when I allow myself to take a nap without any guilt. I don't do this whole thing of, Yana Kim, you can like look at your phone for a little bit, you're gonna lay down, and then you're gonna be okay. I have to reassure myself. And then, or if I drive to a cafe and I sit down and I don't do work, quote unquote work, and I just do what I wanna do, I have to tell myself, Yana, you're allowed to do this. You're allowed to sit in a cafe on your own. You don't have to always meet somebody. It's okay.
Wait, I'm so curious. Like, where does that guilt stem from? Why do you feel like you can't do those things?
That's such a good question. I asked myself that too. Because I'm like, who are you impressing? No one cares.
Yeah, I wouldn't care if treated
Yeah,
yourself to a solo cafe or like took a nap for 3 hours.
I know. Honestly, it's just no one cares. But for
Is it
some
like the work
reason,
hard mentality? Oh, I gotta work double the amount to prove myself kind of thing? Or is that
I'm figuring it out.
we'll get back to
We'll
this?
get back to this. There's no real answer for this other than Yana Kim is working on it. Yeah,
That's where the
because
grace comes in.
yes, because I more than anything, this is a conversation I actually had just yesterday with someone I met, and we were just talking about how much our body holds stress. So she's a chiropractor, so she was helping adjust me, which bless the Lord, what a beautiful time. But we were talking about how a lot of that for her stemmed from a place where she was not self-forgiving. And it just resonated so much with me. Not to get too deep about it, but realized my initial knee-jerk reaction to anything that could possibly bring me pleasure is guilt. Who do you think you are to deserve that? So just trying to shift that mindset to be allowed to. Why?
I think my takeaway from this episode is that Yenna needs to be nicer to herself.
That was not the point of this
Not,
episode.
yeah, I was gonna be like, yeah, my takeaway is like I should rest more, but I'm like, oh, I feel like we need to be nice to ourselves.
Now,
Maybe we need to keep each other
wait,
accountable with this.
this is not where the conversation was going to go.
Yeah, me neither. I didn't think
For
about
some reason, I
this.
thought we were on the same wavelength. Where?
No, not anymore. Not anymore.
Oh, okay. Okay, we'll circle back to this. Or not. Let's not do that. Just kidding.
We will, we
Anyway,
will.
more than anything, realizing that rest, whatever that may look like for you, that it's really not about the yes, take care of your physical health. More than anything, I'm learning that these days, but also to be find things that fill your like soul cup up. And that is whatever that may be. What, again, meeting with someone you feel safe to have conversation with, calling your mom or dad, visiting, someone you haven't seen in a while, or going to a cafe, going to a worship night, whatever that may look like, to give yourself the space to schedule those quote unquote fun things into your itinerary of life. Our life is way too short to hurry up and live your life. You know what I mean? Whatever.
Mm.
Yeah. Anyway, this episode took a turn for what I was not ready for, so I'm confused how to end this.
You basically, Yenna was called out, and Yenna's like, no, I'm kidding.
Wait a second. Wait a second. Oh
No,
man.
it's for me too.
Yeah. I love you, Jessie.
I mean, we started recording this episode an hour later because I was trying to fit everything in before calling. And clearly, I underestimated the time it took me to do everything. And so
Hey
I
girl,
take full responsibility.
it's a gardening therapy. It was good. It was good for you.
Yes, it was good. Anyway.
Anyway, yeah, so more than anything, as you enter into this fall season, as we enter into the latter half of this year, which is absolutely wild, really take time to find pockets of rest, because we're coming off of a fast-paced time, summer. So just slowing down and allowing your body and your mind to find places of rest is the encouragement that we want to spread today. Yes, all of our episodes are on Spotify and on YouTube, and you can find our updates on Instagram. Thank you for listening to today's episode, and we cannot wait to share more on the next. Until then,
Bye.
bye.